Frederick, what are you doing?
Quiet on set. Thank you. And action!
No, that'll what? Stop slapping the chicken.
Welcome to our kitchen. I'm Bill Buford. I'm here with my sons, Frederick Buford, the director, George Buford, who's behind the camera and whom you'll never see. And today we are talking about roasting a chicken. To roast a chicken is the test for every home and professional cook, and it's almost impossible to get it right. The difficulty about a chicken, on the one hand, you have the legs, very worked muscles, the dark meat, very sinewy, and on the other hand, you've got the breast, the beautiful, lazy white meat. And by the time the legs are done, the breast usually dries out. There's been different methods for slowing down the cooking of the breast so that the thighs can speed on ahead, and some of them are very effective. One is called the spatchcock, and one is called beer can chicken. This is not, obviously not, a beer can, but it's simulating a beer can, and the concept is to cook your chicken as though it were standing up. The part of the chicken that's getting the most intense heat are the legs. It's not really roasting, it's barbecuing, but it illustrates the difficulty of cooking a chicken. With the Crapo method, the toad method, flip the chicken over and feel for the thigh joint here. Press until it pops out. You hear that?
I think that might be too much for the internet.
And that flattens out the bottom so that they make contact with your hot surface when you roast it. It does look a little bit like a toad. But today we're going to roast a chicken mainly by not roasting it at all. It's a trick that I learned in France and that I learned here in New York by the example of Antoine Westermann at Le Coq. We start with our chicken.
Look at the camera!
Look at the camera!
Action!
The idea is that we cook the chicken in liquid. In the ideal world, the liquid is chicken broth, so you're cooking chicken in the juice of chicken. As it happens, I'm making an enhanced chicken stock. I happen to have a bag of chicken feet, which I boiled ahead of time, got rid of the blood. I have some extra bits of chicken carcass, and I got loads of vegetables.
Cut. Oh, I didn't want to hear about that carcass and the blood. That was...
I'm adding my vegetables to my empty pot, starting with carrots, celery, onion, a variety of fleshy, fresh herbs, leeks, garlic, chicken feet, the carcass from last night's dinner, chicken stock. I particularly like this one from Caskin Farms. At the moment, during the quarantine period, it's hard to get it in Manhattan, but they're delivering it outside of New York. It's delicious, clear, very flavorful chicken stock. It's not going to be enough to cook the 2 chickens that I'm going to put in here, but you add some water. You'll heat this up, far from boiling, 70 degrees centigrade, approximately 150 degrees Fahrenheit. And then we'll add our chickens. Next, we prepare our bird for poaching, and the first step is going to be to take out the wishbone. This is a crucial step in roasting any bird, a pigeon, a goose, a turkey. The wishbone, if it's not removed, gets in the way of removing the breast later. Take the wishbone out and the breast will come out much more easily. Normally you can pull out the whole thing as one. You pull out 2 pieces.
We're calling animal services.
Before I truss the bird, I like to fill the cavity with herbs, especially rosemary and sage, which are not very French. This is completely optional. Rosemary, sage, more sage, maybe a little bit of thyme. Oh, and maybe a little bit more sage. But I love the smell of it when it starts to roast in the oven. Next, we truss the bird. Trussing is tying it up into a bundle. It does look more like a pretty chicken, but it also serves many practical purposes. It closes the cavity, it keeps the extensions in tight.
You have to tie it up. I've never tied up a chicken.
If you're poaching a chicken and you don't tie it up, all the extensions, the wings, the legs, as they cook, they start to open up out of the side and they get more and more extended. And apart from it looking really ugly, they cook at different rates then. We take our beautiful poultry package and we slip it into our simmering chicken broth. 45, 50 minutes.
Sexy.
Dinner tonight,
Ready.
chicken.
Okay.
Tomorrow night, chicken. The night after that, chicken! The chicken has been submerged and is poaching in a liquid which isn't boiling, isn't even bubbling, and it should be perfectly done. And we're gonna put it on the tray, let it cool a little bit. We are now going to baste it with olive oil, sprinkle it with sea salt, and put it into an oven of 375 degrees, 15-20 minutes. Glistening and beautiful and aromatic and delicious. Wanting it to reach about 70 degrees centigrade. We're at 67, it's racing. It looks like not only is it gonna hit 70, but it's gonna go beyond it. Slow down, buddy. But it's clear that our chicken is done. We let it rest. No, it's not as brown and as golden as some roasted chickens, but it's much juicier and full of flavor. And for a sauce, nothing more than the juices in the pan.
That chicken is beautiful.
And that's a wrap!